Creativity, it's an addiction. Unplugged because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally Uncut because we all make mistakes, so turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged.
Vocal defragging is a discipline. It's having a physical conversation with the inner core of your mind, body, and soul. It's kind of like martial arts, the foot, fist, way. Sure, it comes in threes, but are you listening? Are you connecting the dots? Are you collaborating? We all like to surround ourselves with people so that we can feel accepted. But the most difficult thing about acceptance is, do you accept yourself? Vocal defragging gives you an opportunity to not only be heard, but to speak it, to be in your truth, to be right there. Hey, it's Arroe. This is Vocal Defrag. Ask the questions, question the answers, and then question again. Don't be hard on yourself. Be the listener. Be the collaborator. Build together. And then you can share with those that are around you. Like I always say in my lectures, I strongly suggest that students of broadcasting should never, at this point in the game, ever team up with another future broadcaster to do a podcast. And the reason being is because you haven't laid out the groundwork of the expectations of a podcast. You haven't lived the life yet to be forgiving of other people's time. Because you're going to build something, and then you're going to ask them to show up, and when they turn around and say no to you, what's your reaction? You're going to have some anger. You're going to be disappointed. And then you're going to say something that you didn't mean to say, and now you got friction. Ask the questions, question the answers. That's what vocal defragging is. Now, this isn't the only time that I do this. And first of all, if this is the first time you've ever tuned in, I do the vocal defrag while on a transition walk. Every single one of us go through several transitions every single moment of the day. Mindsets, mood swings. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. We like to kind of cheat the system by doing Red Bulls and anything else that's going to take you up. Or we'll sweeten up our soul with one of those hot new primes. Well, it's a transition. Do you ask yourself, how did I feel after having that dinner? Yeah, you go through mood swings, you get tired. I was very tired this morning while writing in my daily writing. And I question myself, what's the story, buddy? This isn't like you. And all of a sudden, making myself aware of the moment, I started to feel the energy. You see what I mean? Understanding your transitions. And that's why I take a transition walk. Today on Vocal Defrag, though, we're going to put the focus on your nobody. Yeah, we all have nobodies. Nobody will understand. Nobody treats me better than. Nobody will look at me and give me praise for something that you've done. I want to know who your nobody is, because we use that word like it's candy in a store, and you want some sweets right now. And complaining seems to be that crutch that fuels your fight. Nobody will ever understand how many hours I put into podcasting. And then when I tell them I can't get here until a certain time, nobody will give me that space. Yeah, who's your nobody? Who is your nobody? How do you face your nobody? I'm just one of those people that will take a subject such as this and say, you know what? I don't care if people don't like what I'm doing. I'm in a moment where you just say, I am, I will, I did, and whether it was good or bad, victorious or just another loss, doesn't matter. It didn't involve your nobody. You don't need the praise of others. It feels good. It's great to have a collaboration, but we depend so much, we're codependent on nobodies, that we find ourselves in a situation of personal disappointment. We quit doing things because, well, nobody will look at you for what you are. You try so hard to look great, to feel great, but nobody said, hey, you got a pair of brand new glasses. You're nobody. Put it on paper. Write on a page the names of every person who qualifies as your nobody. You need to find a way to communicate to those who are giving, to those who are taking chances in their own personal lives to make sure that your position is greater than what it was yesterday. See, every boss has a boss. Every employee has a boss. Is your boss happy? Is your boss your nobody? Is your spouse your nobody? Let's talk about that. The person that you love so dearly. Nobody gets me. I'm always alone. I go outside to do different things because nobody will be with me. They think what I do is stupid. Well, identify your nobody. Now, I'm not saying that once you identify the names, you rush out there and get up on that soapbox and start doing a praise. I just want you to know in your heart who your nobodies are. And then through communication and the art of listening, you step forward with a new way of collaborating, finding connection. Being an instructor of future broadcasters, I'm in a room with people that have egos. I have an ego. And you take what they've got and what they don't have, but could have, and you have to build on it. I come home after a 4-hour lecture completely exhausted. And the first thing that I do is I pick up my defrag journal and I start breaking it down. I ask the questions, I question the answers. I want to know what took place in that classroom that totally 100% exhausted me. But you know what? Nobody knows I do it until now. I just said it. Nobody knows. Well, they do in a different way. They see my actions and my reactions. I said to a guy this past week after a lecture, I said, I just want you to know that I'm grateful for you guys in the way that I continue to believe that there are no two classes the same. Not your group, not today, not the last time that we met. There are no two classes the same. And thank you for letting me grow and take chances in places where others would say, well, I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again. Name your nobody. You know, you don't have to go out there and share it or give it to someone in your house. You know, hey, honey, look, man, the guy on the podcast said, name my nobody. Do you agree with me? Are these the people that are my nobodies? Because, you know, nobody ever listens to me except for you, honey, except for you. Naming your nobodies puts an identity on a word that we overuse. My question now is going to turn it. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. What would happen if you put your own name on that nobody list? Now we're getting someplace. Nobody cares. Nobody listens. Nobody gives you the energy to make sure that you are strong and sturdy. Nobody. And it's the finger being pointed directly at you. Shame, guilt, fear. I can't get over this mountain because nobody has ever given me the right lesson. Nobody is you. When you decide, when you're questioning and questioning the answers, when you decide that it's time to really start listening to nobody by giving nobody a name. Let me give you an example. I don't give myself enough space to grow. Well, let's do something about that. Let's find a place where you can get some space. How about this one? I don't trust myself when I'm home alone. Oh. Nobody trusts me when I'm at home. How many times did you say that when you were a kid, huh? I don't listen. I don't try. How about this? I am, I will, I can, I discovered, not I'm hurting. Nobody knows how much I'm in pain. Only you do, right? And maybe a few people around you. But are they on your list? What happens if you put your name on that list and you begin asking the questions and questioning the answers? Who is your nobody? I'm Arroe, and that's Vocal Defrag.